Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report believes that the Celtics took a massive gamble in the Kristaps Porziņģis Marcus Smart trade. Now, is that true? Is that true? Did the Celtics truly take a massive gamble in getting off Marcus Smart and then replacing him with Kristaps Porziņģis? Well, let's go back to what the trade was. So this was the trade. Kristaps Porziņģis, a 2023 first-round pick, which turned out to be Michael Sasser, who they traded to the Pistons for 2025 and 2026 second-round picks, and James Inaji, I think you pronounce his name, who's a center. And a 2024 first-round pick. I believe that's top 4 protected for Golden State. The Grizzlies got Marcus Smart in that trade. And then the Celtics dropped Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala. They just dumped him onto the Wizards. But the main trade there were the Celtics and the Grizzlies. Celtics get Kristaps Porziņģis from the Wizards, and the Grizzlies got Marcus Smart from the Celtics. Now, what's crazy about this is that Jaylen Brown called Marcus Smart the heart and soul of the team in the past, which is true. When you think about big three when it comes to culture and when it comes to the Celtics, it was Marcus Smart, Jayson Tatum, and Al Horford. Those were sort of the mentors and the leaders of the team. Jaylen Brown was a better player than Marcus Smart, but he wasn't really an outspoken leader. He was not a leader. It was Marcus Smart, it was Jayson Tatum, and it was Al Horford. Al Horford being the veteran sort of figure piece for the Celtics, Jayson Tatum being the overall best player, and Marcus Smart, who I think personally puts in the most effort out of any of the players on the Celtics. Now, he was the Defensive Player of the Year. He could be an elite three-point shooter at times. He put in more effort, like I said, probably than anyone else. And Porziņģis, by the way, Marcus Smart, I'm going to bring it up here. He's coming off a season, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 33% from 3. Like I said, he has moments. I'm not saying, season-wise, he's an elite three-point shooter. He has his moments. Shot 41% from the floor. And we see Kristaps Porziņģis, who just came off one of his best years in total. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2.7 assists, nearly 40% from 3, nearly 50% shooting from the floor. What the Celtics needed, there are 2 glaring issues the Celtics have had for the past couple seasons. The first one would be a young, athletic, healthy and scoring big man. Al Horford was too old. Al Horford is too old to play 82 games and play this consistently. And Robert Williams, we all know, severely injury prone. I have it right here. In his career, he averages 42 games a year, which is barely above 50%. Porziņģis, since his ACL injury, has averaged 54 games played, which is about 65% of the season. And Al Horford, aging Al Horford, actually is the best out of that group. He's averaged about 66 games the past 2 seasons, which is about 80% of the season. And we all know Marcus Smart. He's going to be out there almost every single night, plays his heart out. The other glaring issue the Celtics had was a true point guard, a distributor. You had Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum or sometimes Marcus Smart bringing up the ball. Jayson Tatum needs to be more of a scorer, not a ball handler. Jaylen Brown can't handle the ball. We saw in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year, he had 8 turnovers, and every time he went to his left hand, it seemingly got stolen. And Marcus Smart, we know he's not a true point guard. He's more of a defensive point guard, and that's not what the Celtics needed. They needed a distributor to take the ball out of Jayson Tatum's hand and out of Jaylen Brown's hand because Jaylen Brown has no hands, and we saw 2 seasons ago in the finals or throughout the playoffs, Jayson Tatum had over 100 turnovers. That's an issue. So Malcolm Brogdon was supposed to be sorted that answer, and he got basically sent to the 6th man and did, in fact, win 6th man of the year. But they did need a distributor point guard, which they still need now that you got off Marcus Smart, and they needed a more healthy big man, a younger big man, a big man who could score more consistently. The thing with Kristaps Porziņģis is he's not an elite under-the-rim defender like Robert Williams, but he's good enough. And he's not that lateral quickness mover or sort of because, Al Horford averaged 44% from 3 last season. So he's not as a consistent three-point shooter as Al Horford, but he's good enough, nearly 40% from 3. So it is a perfect medium between Robert Williams and Al Horford. So now you have 3 centers who you could literally pick up, move around, start 2 of them, leave 1 on the bench, start 1 of them, leave 2, whatever. You have a combination of centers However you want. But the question is, where's the culture coming from? Is it Al Horford? Because Marcus Smart, like Jaylen Brown said, heart and soul of the team. And Marcus Smart was even taken back by that and said, yo, I thought we were good. I thought you weren't going to trade me. Turns out, nope, they did trade you. What the Grizzlies got was actually a very key piece of their team. With Ja Morant dealing with his issues, you bring in a phenomenal culture piece. You also bring great defense. Marcus Smart is going to bring a lot of culture. He could stabilize that team in sort of its rocky situation right now. He could bring some stability, and he brings defense to the guard position. The Celtics now have they have a great scoring center and a pretty good under-the-rim defender who at least is healthier than Robert Williams, who's their under-the-rim defender. And by the way, Robert Williams doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have any post moves. He's a dunking and layup guy. He can't do a shimmy fadeaway two close to the rim, whatever. That's not what he could do. Kristaps Porziņģis can do that. He could also shoot from the outside. So he brings you more, he has more tools in his belt than Robert Williams does. And you allow Al Horford to rest, keep him fresh for the playoffs. The last season we saw in the playoffs, Al Horford could not shoot the three for his life. I fully expect the Celtics to make the playoffs this year. At least you have Porziņģis who could bring more consistency. This is a massive gamble. This is a huge gamble because you're losing a culture piece and hoping under Joe Mazzulla's ideology that this will work, that they'll shoot the three better, that they'll figure out what to do at the point guard position, which I don't even know. You're going to bring up Malcolm. The starting lineup is probably going to be Malcolm Brogdon at the point, Derek White shooting guard, then you have Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and my guess would be you start Porziņģis. That's going to probably be your starting five. Because Joe Mazzulla likes Derek White. Derek White had a phenomenal year last year. Now you have Malcolm Brogdon at the point, because I do not see Derek White starting at the point guard and having Jaylen Brown as your other guard. I can't see that. But that may be a rotation that they do. Maybe they will try that out, where Derek White is a guard. Or you take Derek White out entirely and have Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, and then you could have Porziņģis and Al Horford or Robert Williams in that sort of combination. But this is a massive gamble because the Celtics needed to get in championship mode. Now, while the players are young, they are going to be extremely expensive. Like I said, Jaylen Brown and like I've been saying, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. There's supermax extensions, which I believe the Celtics are probably going to sign both. They're already expected to sign Jaylen Brown's, and Jayson Tatum would be the obvious answer to sign. Their two contracts alone are going to be $613 million, and that's for two players. So they're not really going to be able to afford anything. So this season may be win or go home. This may be NBA Finals win or bust. Because you're probably going to need to get off either Jaylen Brown or Kristaps Porziņģis sometime soon to afford other players. So my guess would be it's really win now or it's going to be a bust. The Celtics are taking a massive gamble because their culture is going to take a hit, but you also bring in a more efficient scoring piece and a healthier scoring piece, slightly healthier, at least than Robert Williams. And so we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see the Celtics this season. Because last season, from top to bottom, at least depth chart-wise, they were the deepest and the best team overall. I understand Milwaukee had the 1 seed. But on paper, the Celtics were the deepest and best team in the NBA. Just turns out that they underperformed big time. Big time. With the cards pushed to the table, the Celtics were what the Celtics have been. A horrible clutch team. So we'll have to wait and see if Kristaps Porziņģis and the Celtics team can really make it to the promised land. All right, I want to talk to you about our YouTube membership as I talked about before. So this episode of the Harvey Hour is brought to you by our YouTube membership community. If you ever wanted to become a regular guest on the show and tell me or my dad how bad our takes are, you could do that now with our YouTube membership program. If you also want shout-outs at the beginning of each show, you can click that blue join button down below and become a member of the Harvey Hour and support the show. Thank you for everyone who has signed up and is supporting the Harvey Hour. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.